Hello everyone, today in this video I will present to you about the cost behavior. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Anatasia and I'll show you the subtopics that will be discussed in this video. The first one is understanding the cost behavior. We will learn what is cost behavior and what is the importance to learn this cost behavior. Next, there are three sections which are variable cost, fixed cost, and mixed cost. And last but not least, we will learn three ways to separate the mixed cost by scatter plot method, highest and lowest point method, or least square regression method. Let's begin. So what is cost behavior? Cost behavior is showing the pattern of how the amount of cost varies or changes by changing the business activity. And what is the fundamental purpose to learn this cost behavior? Of course, by learning this, we will know how to control the cost, estimate the cost, and it is even useful in making decisions. One cost can be categorized as variable cost or fixed cost based on basis activity, where basis activity often called as cost driver. Now, I'll show you the difference of variable cost, fixed cost, and mixed cost. Variable cost. Variable cost is the cost that changes proportionally with the change of activity or the amount of production. We can conclude that total variable cost changes proportionally with the change of activity. But variable cost per unit is not changing, although there is changing in activity. And the example in service company is equipment cost and travel cost. While in trading company can be cost of inventory, COGS, or cost of goods sold, shipping costs, and sales commission fee. And in manufacturing company, it can be cost of raw materials, cost of assistance, direct labor, etc. Fixed cost. Fixed cost is the cost that is not influenced by the activity level, of course, in a relevant range. In conclusion, the total of fixed cost will not change in a relevant range, although the activity level changes. And the fixed cost per unit changes when the activity level changes. And the example of fixed cost can be depreciation cost and salary costs. Here are the graphs showing the difference of variable cost and fixed cost. Where variable costs can be seen that the changing in production and cost are proportional. It starts from the production 0 and the cost will be 0 too. When the production increases to 100, the cost will also increase to 1 million. And when the production increases to 200, the cost will rise to 2 million too. But meanwhile, in fixed cost, although the production level changing from 0, 100, 200, 300 and so on, but the cost remained the same in 1 million and 500,000. But actually, all costs are categorized as variable costs. In this case, fixed cost will gradually change into a variable cost if it has this relevant range. Next, we have mixed costs. Mixed costs means the costs that have characteristics of both variable costs and fixed costs. So, some of the costs in mixed costs will change according to the activity change proportionally. And in the other hand, some of the mixed costs will not change although the activity level is changing. When doing classification, whether it is variable cost or fixed cost, it depends on relevant range and time horizon. Now, I'll explain three methods to separate mixed costs: scatter plot method, highest and lowest point method, and least square regression method. When you are using scatter plot method manually, you can follow these steps. The first one, make the horizontal line, and then write down machine hours and make a dot of 100, 130, 260, and so on. And then the next steps is drawing the vertical line and write down maintenance cost and make a dot of 200,000, 300,000, and so on. And then the third step is making a dot where 0.100 hours meets 200,000, and then where 260 hours meet to 420,000 until 500 hours to 680,000. And then the last step is drawing the linear line that reflects the relations between machine hours and maintenance costs. This line may not represent wholly, but just simply as a description of the relationship between these machine hours and the cost. But actually, you can simply using the scatter plot method by using Excel, so it will be easier for you, of course. And just open here, and then this I have an example for the relationship between these hours and cost, and then you just have to block from C3 until D8, and then choose insert, and then choose the graph scatter. Okay, well, this is the graph here, and then you just have to choose trend line in order to show the line about the relationship, this machine time and the cost. The second method is quite easy, which is highest and lowest point method. All you have to do is collecting the activity data and cost history. And then you have to identify the highest and the lowest activity and cost, and then calculate the variable cost and also calculate the fixed cost, where in the end you will make an equation. Here's an example question of using highest and lowest point methods, where the question is given that the highest activity is 500 hours, lowest activity 100 hours, highest cost 680,000, lowest cost 200,000. How do we solve this? Well, we can calculate the variable cost first by the difference of the cost divide the difference of the activity hours, and we get that 1,200 per hour. And then just put the number into the equations, which is y equals to a plus bx. The y is total cost, a is fixed cost, b is variable cost, and then we get the fixed cost is 80,000. And in the end, we will get an equation which is y equals to 80,000 plus 1,200 s, where this s can be changed into like 200 hours, 300 hours, and so on. The last one is least square regression method, where this method is almost the same as before method, where you also have to collect the activity data and cost history, and then find the variable cost, and then of course to calculate the fixed cost. And here's the formula, where the S is for activity, Y is the mixed cost, A is for fixed cost, and B is for variable cost. However, in order to find the fixed cost and the variable cost, it will be much easier if you can using the application of SPSS or using Excel, and I'll show you how using the Excel. So here's how it looks like when you are using the Excel, and let's see how it works. First, in order to find the variable cost, you can use the functions equal to slope, and then just block from C3 to C8, and then comma, from B3 to B8, and then just enter, and it will count that the variable cost is 1,027. And when you have to count the fixed cost, is also as simple as counting the variable cost, where the function is equal to intercept, and then just block from C3 to C8, and then comma, B3 to B8, and then just tap enter. Okay, now you will see that the fixed cost is 134,737. Well, this is the end of my video. I hope this video will help you to have better understanding on cost behavior. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comment below. See you on next video.